In the fields of Poteet where the sun beats down, strawberries ripe and wearing their red gown. We dream in the rose, a future in bloom. With every sweet harvest, we'll break through the gloom. With dirt on my hands, I rise from the pain. So here's to the passion, the joy that we find. In the rhythm of hard work, we leave fear behind. Strawberry fields, oh, they're calling our name. In the warmth of Poteet, we'll light up the flame. Each morning is hope as the dewdrops gleam. Together we toil for a common dream. Days may be tough, but we won't retreat. In the heart of Texas, we'll find our beat.
Oh.
With the lift of our spirits, we'll conquer the
Check.
night. So here's to the passion, the joy that we find. In the rhythm of hard work, we leave fear behind. Strawberry fields, oh, they're calling our name. In the warmth of Poteet, we light up the flame. Embrace the struggle, let your spirit fly. In the fields of reach for the sky. Embrace the stubble, let's just get it fly. In the fields of Poteet, we'll reach for the sky.
Me neither. Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of SoTex Time. You got me, Pat West. Got that guy. Me, Donovan. What's up? And then let me give you a little update to here. All right.
We weren't on camera.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are. Introduce yourselves, guys. Ladies first.
I'm Chris Lopez. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh.
Joanna Garcia.
Chris Lopez. Happy to be here.
Yeah, all right. Like I said, we got Joanna Garcia, we got Chris Lopez, we got Donovan, we got the whole crew here.
What's up, man?
Yeah, your picture. There we are.
Yeah.
That's kind of tricky, huh?
Man, I'm freaking out. It's like part Tron, part LSD, all kinds of stuff, man.
Well,
Yeah, little Led Zeppelin.
Let me show y'all.
Let's see.
All right.
Oh, wow.
I like it.
Like it.
We missed you last week.
Guys, before we start the show, we're gonna finish a piece of cracker off, but one of our illustrious members of the Strawberry Festival Association is actually passed during this time. We wanted to make mention of that again. I wasn't here last week, but I wanted to extend my condolences out to the Ritchie family. We lost Miss Ritchie. She was a wonderful part of the Strawberry Festival. She was actually one of the Capital members when I was nominated king in 1986. And she was one of the very first people that congratulated me. So In doing so, wanted to extend our condolences and to let everybody know that she's going to be greatly missed. So, guys, back to you.
All right. Yeah, that's tough. I pulled up the wrong screen now. Sorry about that, guys. But with that being said, I pulled up the wheel.
Oh,
With that being said, we have a sponsor tonight.
Do we?
Tonight's sponsor is the Backyard Kitchen,
it's true.
located at 973 Avenue H in Poteet, Texas.
Nice.
Backyard Kitchen has all kinds of specials. And for those of you that liked, shared, and tagged on the Backyard Kitchen video that they requested, we already have their names on the wheel, and I'll pull that wheel up. You'll be able to see it right there. That's the wheel.
Nice.
Names on that wheel. About 7:30, we're gonna spin for what is it, Joanna?
Ooh, I get to be there on tonight.
You can be.
Okay, it is a $50
Whoa!
gift
Dude.
certificate to the Backyard Kitchen. It's a shame we can't participate.
Our names on there right now. We'll spin for it.
Actually, we should just spend between the four of us here and then figure out what's going to
Just
happen.
figure out who gets it.
The four of us will go eat.
Well,
Perhaps.
I'll cook it in a few minutes.
Yeah. I gotta,
We also have another,
come on now.
we got two.
Yeah, Joanna, tell us all the other prizes that we can give away throughout the rest of the night. Hopefully,
This is just a $20 gift certificate to the Backyard Kitchen, and this is just going to be on the prize wheels, one of the prizes that we're giving away tonight. Not the same as the like, tag, and share. It's completely two different ones. We also have a bag of these yummy freeze-dried strawberries. They're delicious. Chris and I ate them a little while ago, but we resisted. We got a SoTex Outdoors hat, different camo pattern.
that's a cool one. I didn't know we had that.
And a fresh jar of pearl strawberry jam that Pat made. It's pretty damn delicious.
Yeah.
I hate it, so fair warning, I hate it. That's the only warning you need right there.
How about it? It's not bad.
So we actually, Donna, you didn't know this, but we actually already have a new segment.
Well, let's hear about it, man. Is it
It's
a
called,
punch in a billy goat? Because I recommended that about 3 shows ago.
We're not.
So- they're not sponsored quite yet.
They're not sponsored
We're
yet.
definitely talking to them. But David Seeds,
Yeah,
David
man.
Garden Seeds, located out there close to Rossville.
That's right.
They want us to do a little segment for them, and they're gonna help us out with it next week. But for this week, we are going to talk about the seed of the week.
Seed of the week.
I like
Seed
that,
of the
man.
week available, and I'm going to go ahead and pull Joanna up so she can tell us about what the seed of the week is.
So this week, I'm gonna go ahead and go with the loofah gourd. It's typically best to plant these in the March, April timeframe, but it's not too late to plant them.
Over here.
So they are pretty heat tolerant, they'll grow well. Just make sure that if you do start them now, we're about to go into a time of year where it's very hot. You're gonna wanna plant them in a shaded area so they can get some partial shade throughout the heat of the day. Or you may want to even start them inside. Seeds, if it's too hot, they can potentially go sterile. The other thing is when your seedlings start to pop up, they will dehydrate very quickly. So you may want to start them inside or in a shaded area, move them around until a little bit closer to fall, when you can actually get them in the ground and get them going in your garden. And those are loofah gourds, so they're great to harvest and have this loofahs, exfoliate your skin. I have even seen people do dishes with them. Better than a scouring pad, just get you a gourd from your garden, you're good to go.
Can you eat it?
I've heard some people eat them when they're very tender. I have never tried them. I don't think I would eat.
All right.
Would you eat it? We're PG
Well,
guys. PG.
well, Having said that, I'm also sponsored too.
Ooh. Wait, only you?
Yeah, Pleasant Park.
I see.
Only Donovan sponsored by Pleasantsburg today.
Yeah. So I have a job there now. Mhm. I am the Chief Procurement Officer of carbonated beverages between the hours of 11 and 11:15.
And what does that mean in layman's terms?
I bring sodas to some of the workers that are there
That's so nice.
from next door.
That's very sweet. Do we
I-
know these workers?
No, I just barge in and rook their day, but they give me cool stuff all the time, so, and I got this shirt.
Yeah.
It's kind of like I work there, but I don't really.
But you don't really.
No.
But it's nice to hang out.
They have air conditioned air, which is, it's pretty cool.
That's always a plus.
It's always a plus.
Do they have Wi-Fi?
They have Wi-Fi.
There you go.
Y'all want to know what the Wi-Fi
Password is?
password is?
Absolutely.
I can't tell you because I'm an employee.
Well, if you ever get mad,
I might just tell y'all later anyway.
So we got about 5 minutes left of the segment. What's going on the farm, Joanna?
well, if you follow the farm page, you will know that Pat recently released the goats into our last
Release the goats!
Release the Kraken.
strawberry patch, and we're officially done with strawberry season for the year. We went ahead and Pat pulled up as much of the plastic as he could get, and the goats have been released into the Florida Pearl patch, and they seem to be loving life right now. They are fat and sassy, and everybody's doing great.
Yeah. There's a meme like that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a lady says, somebody, the reporter says, what are your plans for the holidays? And she goes, oh, I don't know. We're going to make some soups and breads and get all fat and sassy. So yeah, that was her claim to fame. Dude, what is up with this ring light?
Man. Look at
It's
her.
bright.
It is bright. Nonetheless, I don't think I can wear these all the time, but I got to figure something out here with this light. It's blinded me. Blinded by the light, Manfred Man from Man.
So Joanna actually got a nickname this week. It is
God.
Joanna Appleseed.
I like it.
Joanna, can you tell us why your name is Joanna Appleseed?
Because this week, Pat had me in the bucket of the tractor.
Man, I wish I had video on that.
Spreading cover crop in our empty fields, and I was there growing seeds. Were they apple seeds? Absolutely not.
Oh.
Too well in Texas.
Okay.
But they were cover crop seeds. So we planted some mustard seeds, some what is it called?
Daikon.
And
Salvia
and creepy thyme.
and creepy thyme.
Did you say sativa?
Salvia.
Oh,
Not saliva.
Not sativa.
yeah.
Not like this stuff that the lieutenant governor is banning currently.
Right now.
Bring that up. No. Nothing like that. But these, the cover crop is going to help put some nutrients back into the soil. And right before we plant, we till everything back in. And it's going to not only provide nutrients, it's going to help put some separation in the little clumps. So we have some aeration for our plants, and they'll be able to get their roots down and hopefully produce some beautiful strawberries for us.
So, can you tell us a little bit about the science of using mustard greens as your cover crop and what they and the biofumigation? That's a big word for me. That's it.
You ready? There's for those of you who don't know, there's an actual spelling at the bottom with the caps on and hot with the breakdown. It's don't be pressed.
So not to get into too much detail, depending on the type of mustard seed that you're using, though, you do get some biofumigant agents that come out of it. And one of them is actually almost like releasing mustard gas. So when the plant itself begins to break down, it actually will kill weeds, it can sterilize seeds, and it will also kill bugs. So we're hoping that that'll help us with some of the weed issues that we've had. Another option would be to solarize, but you've seen, if you've been to the farm, you've seen how big the field is, and I have no idea where we would get that much plastic.
So I really want y'all to be vigilant when it comes to crosswinds. I wouldn't be so upset if y'all got hit with mustard gas, but the girl, the kids, I just want them to,
See,
yeah.
Tell my
I'm
friends.
saying, man, we are friends, but I don't grow mustard
No.
for that reason. I'm a ketchup man. If you got some ketchup seeds, David, let us know. I will buy them from you.
David, we did get 25 pounds of seeds from David's Garden.
Oh,
Seeds.
nice.
They're in our field right now. So
Fantastic.
we did it right before it rained, and yeah, we do have daikon that's growing wildly in our
Yeah, all
field.
around the house.
But this was intentional, so it will not take over. We have a plan of action before the festival.
Wow.
Before we start planting, we'll have everything we need taken care of.
Fun fact about David Seeds and its location. He, and I don't know if anybody else does, currently right now, he's the only guy that I know of that has koi fish in his house.
They're huge. And
Yeah.
we'll talk about that later.
Yeah, so koi fish.
So we got about 5 minutes till we need to take a little bit of a break. I want to read some comments real quick while we're here. Minda Hyde says, hi guys.
And,
Hey, Minda.
Estelle,
loyal fan, and Estelle, both of them.
Estelle says, I didn't see my name on the wheel. Well, check this out, Estelle. I checked your name.
There you go. Ask and you shall receive.
You're on the wheel. Estelle,
$1 million.
so I hope that you shared, and tagged on the Backyard Kitchen's post. Because if you didn't, you're cheating. And if you win, and I find out you didn't do it, you get taken off.
Well, for what it's worth, all the prizes that she's won, they're still at my house.
Yeah.
The shirts, the caps,
The tomatoes?
the tomatoes,
Eaten or not eaten?
not even,
Well, I think we already know who's going to get it if she wins it.
Donovan.
I think we should go to the special guest.
Yeah. And Chris gets a special guest.
Yeah.
Roger Hickman says, good to see you all are having a great time. We had a great time, Jeff?
we sure are, man.
Fantastic.
Are you having a great time?
Oh, of course. Like we said before, we got some awesome prizes. We're looking forward to giving you guys those prizes. Midnight High says we got some sweet stuff from Pleasant Grove today. Yummy. Esme says, hi guys. Hello.
2 more weeks as.
And Chris Wheels says, oops.
Oops.
I guess it is.
Wow.
Yeah, that's good. So guys, if you did the like, share, tag thing with the Backyard Kitchen, check back in with us in 14 minutes at 7:30. We're going to draw for that. And then at the end of the show, stay with us to the end of the show. We're going to draw for all the stuff that we had pulled up.
But not the seats.
But not the seats. We're holding on the seats this time. Next time around, Dave said he's going to hook us up with a pack of seats at every show that we can give away. So we're looking forward to doing that. Speaking of the Strawberry Festival, this guy right here, I can point to him. I'm actually on camera.
Wow.
This guy right here is the president of the Strawberry Festival. That's Chris Lopez. He is also with Bear County as the fire marshal
That's right.
and the director
Mercy Mac.
of the He wants to do these long.
That's okay.
Oh, like the one you gave me? Like the one you gave me today?
What is yours today?
I can't make it out. Go ahead and read it for me.
Westchester County's top-rated cheese net advocate.
I love it.
That's long. I want that to be on my next name tag. It would go like this. Need the backside.
His SoTex time outfit. Yep.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
But with that being said, guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break from our sponsor, which is the Backyard Kitchen. Thank you, Backyard Kitchen. Go see them at 973 Avenue H in Poteet. Once I find this commercial, we're going to go to a commercial.
Yeah. Nice buns, Brad. Nice buns.
Commercial break.
Hey guys, Pat here with SoTex to talk to you about the Backyard Kitchen. Located at 973 Avenue H in Poteet, Texas. The Backyard Kitchen has all kinds of deals. This week they have the #1 special. It's the Backyard Bundle. It's a family deal. It's 4 burgers, 4 chips, 4 sodas for just $19.99. They've also got the Sweet Heat Clucker. It's a sweet and spicy chicken sandwich. It's got some summer vibes. That combo is only $8.99 this week. And for their 3rd special, they've got the Backyard Citrus Bowl. It's lemon tang with a backyard bang. Only $7.99 this week. So go see them at the Backyard Kitchen or have them deliver if your order is over $20.
Serving up joy, love wrapped in taste. Cheers to the years and more to come. In this little haven, we all feel that.
Are you ready to shine? Make your mark this time. SoTex time is here. In the spotlight you'll climb. Join the wave of success. Let your brand be heard. In this vibrant show, spread the word, spread the word. Tune in, don't miss, now's your chance. Together we'll rise, let's take a stand. SoTex time, where your dreams collide. In the fields where the wildflowers bloom, join us, hands dance to the sweet honey's tune.
And the business. But we got Donovan here. Donovan. So one of the big perks of doing anything up at the Strawberry Festival grounds is they always have some deliciousness.
Yeah.
Hanging around.
Chris is drinking coffee. For what it's worth.
We're gonna go ahead and pull everybody up. But guys, we want to welcome Chris Lopez.
All right, Chris.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
He is with Bear County. Chris, can you go ahead and introduce yourself about the things that you do with Bear County?
Sure. I am the county fire marshal for Bear County. I've been the county fire marshal since February of 2015. So this year, my 10th year as fire marshal. Thank you. Prior to that, I was the chief investigator of the arson unit from 09 to 15. And prior to that, I was an arson investigator from 2005 till I took over as the chief investigator. And just very much enjoy the career. Now, golly, at 35 years in law enforcement, and in 1989, I was sworn in as a policeman and worked in patrol and became a detective, then a chief of police. And I went to the state fire marshal's office, became a arson investigator for them, and then I ended up here. And so I was born and raised in the Panhandle, kind of northwest of Lubbock, in a small town of Olton, O-L-T-O-N, Olton, Texas. It is an ag-based economy. I grew up with our family farming and ranching, and my dad owned a tractor shop, kind of like, the Tuttle said here, something like that. My dad worked for the International Harvester as a mechanic for many, many years. Became their shop foreman, and then whenever they switched over to KSIH, they closed the International Harvester dealership, and Dad went out on his own, and we worked for him. And by trade, I became a diesel mechanic, and decided that I wanted to be a policeman. So there you go.
Fantastic. So a little history between Chris and I. When I was with Fox News in San Antonio, he and I, he was working the scene, and I was actually covering the scene for the news stations. One day in particular, and don't ask me why I remember these things. It was on a Thursday afternoon, and we're out in Southern Bexar County, and there was a call out for a fire, and it seemed to be cut and dry. Chris and his team came in, and they investigated, and it turned out that somebody was deceased inside the building that had burned down. And if it hadn't been for Chris and his team going into investigating, this probably would have been a open and shut case with somebody who passed away. There was foul play that was involved. Chris and his team investigated. They were out there for 3 days straight, day and night. They had tents out there. They were going through debris and all kinds of stuff. We had the privilege of being close enough and interviewing Chris and his team. Case solved, charges were filed, and this person who unfortunately passed away, he had there was closure for his family. And for that, I applaud you, Chris. And a lot of people don't know that there's a lot of things that happen. A lot of people saying, well, they're just going out there looking for this. They're putting out fires. It's very detailed. And I can say that on our behalf, seeing somebody that tells us, well, if it weren't for those guys, we would have never known what happened. So to that, I give you applause. And a lot of people out there should know that this type of job in particular is multifaceted. Yes, it's law enforcement. Yes, it's fire. But a lot of it is mentality, and you actually have to think like an arson and say, what would an arson be doing on this property right now? How are they actually navigating their way and doing what they do? Ultimately, that's what ends up getting caught. So once again, thanks to the guys out there doing the investigation, and thanks for Chris for being out there for 30 plus years, man. That's incredible, dude. The only thing I've done for 30 years was actually had overdue books at the library in Poteet. I got a fine right now, like 19 grand for a book in 86, man. I don't even pass by there anymore. I actually turn by De La Fuentes and I go the long way around by the Canyon Park and I come back just to come back this side of town next to the thrift store. Somebody said, hey, who's that Donovan? Yeah, it is Donovan.
Reward for that?
There could be, but it ain't 19 grand.
No.
But Chris, thank you, man. We joke a lot around the show, but thank you for what you do, bro.
Thanks. It means a lot. I can tell you that doing that job, specializing in arson investigation, there's a tremendous amount of camaraderie and the folks that I've worked with, the ones that I've trained, and then in that community. And so we do a lot of really solid work. When I say we, I know that the fruits of my FTO and training and teaching these folks to do that job. As the fire marshal now, setting and doing the administrative work, I see the same types of cases being made. I see folks doing that kind of work now, and I'm just so proud of what they do and how they do it. And it's rewarding to get to sit in the chair, and that's, you know, I know that's a Star Trek reference.
Sure enough, huh?
But I enjoy it very much. It's
Right.
very rewarding.
Are there any locals here in the county that actually work up there in Bear County with you guys?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. So Gerard Herrera, who's from here,
Yeah, fantastic guy.
yeah. So
I have
Gerard-
enjoyed watching him grow. And I know that he was a grown man when I met him. And every time I see him, or we're friends on Facebook, and I see pictures of him and his little boy, I feel that same like, oh, the way I feel when I see my kids. I see him grow.
Oh, yeah, we always see them all growing up, yeah.
He's a great guy, an amazing
Fantastic.
dad. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
wonderful.
and he's on this board with us.
He is at that, yeah.
So speaking of people that work for you, we have a comment from Derek Lozano, DJ.
Oh,
Hey!
He says, Chris Lopez, best boss ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
I'm pretty sure Jason Smith will have something to say about that.
I tell you, DJ's
So speaking of DJ, he, aside from being a DJ at HEB and everybody knows who he is with the Showtime crew, he also drives the kids from the court around, and he helps a lot with the kids that are on
Yeah,
court.
most
He helps a lot in the office and some other things as needed around here. I don't know everything he does, but tying back to the Strawberry Festival, which, by the way, we're here on the grounds today. And part of it is to interview Chris, but the other part of it is to remind everybody that the mission is we are here for the kids.
Fantastic.
That's the purpose of the Strawberry Festival. There's so many nonprofits, and the majority of these nonprofits, what they do is they raise money to give away scholarships or to support kids' activities like local youth sports and things of that nature.
Most definitely.
But that being said, what inspired you to get involved with the Poteet Strawberry Festival? And what has your journey been like to get where you are now as president?
So, you know, I began when I moved here in the end of 2004. I was waiting for the job to open in Bear County, and I went to work for Frank Leal, who was the police chief. So I don't know if y'all know this or not, but I worked part-time as a police officer for the city of Poteet for my first 8 months that I lived here while I was waiting for the job in Bear County to open up. A friend of mine became the Bear County Fire Marshal at the time. We had worked together at the state, and he wanted me to come down and work for him. So I worked here, and that was my first year here, my first exposure to the Strawberry Festival. But it was on the city side. I was a patrolman out there, seeing this just massive group of people move in and just take our town over.
Yeah, it's crazy, right?
It was.
It's impressive.
It was, absolutely. And then being on the fire department also, I've been on our fire department for 20 years. And we used to do the fajita tacos, we do sausage wraps, in preparation for that, you get to come into the grounds, get our stuff ready, get our stuff set up. And, we're working the entire weekend. We're making coals, burning mesquite, and, getting the pits ready. During the weekend, we're, making tacos literally and selling those as our fire department fundraiser. And I'll tell you, I got to know the folks involved with the festival during that time. And man, I thought this is so cool. I enjoyed just seeing this small town go from, hey, we've got our normal,
4,500, 4,500, yeah, man.
These people, and then boom, you got over a weekend, you got 130,000 people come here, and it's just like, this is awesome. Where I grew up in Oldham, we had a Santo celebration, and if you got 400 people to come to Santo celebration on a Friday night, that was a lot.
Sure.
But we never had anything like the folks here built, the history that went into this, and then what guys like, Jim and many of the others that are here in town, Mr. Franklin, these guys, they Jim has put a lot of time and a lot of personal investment into the Strawberry Festival Association. I mean, they used to do it downtown. It used to be a very, very small event. I mean, you see pictures, you see like the parade and the little location where they used to do it. I mean, could you imagine something like that today.
Right, in the exact same place.
Yeah, there's no way.
Yeah, it would stretch from Highway 16 to, past the Boogie Place, back to the school, and then all the way out to Loop 282. That's how much property that I would acquire. It's 100 plus acres right there.
Absolutely. So.
I'm just gonna give you a time check. It's 7:30. We need to draw in, but we have
Yeah,
other questions. We have other questions for
We
you.
have other questions for you that we want to talk to you more about your very kind of stuff. But we told everybody we're going to sit the wheel at 7:30 for the $50 gift card. So I'm going to pull up this wheel. Esme said, "Am I in the raffle?"
Yes.
Did you like sharing?
Esme, if I did not see your name on the shares on the backyard kitchen thing, I'm sorry, you're not in the raffle. You don't see your name on there, you're not in the raffle. But let's go ahead and
But we
spin.
do have another one.
But we do have another $20 gift card that we'll give away if you guys stay with us for the whole thing.
Guys,
And everybody's commenting. Everybody's commenting. I'm gonna go back and grab everybody's name and throw it on the wheel. If you're there, you get it. But that being said, let's spin the wheel for that backyard kitchen $50 gift certificate. We were hoping to have Brad on, but apparently he got busy. We're gonna spin it right now.
I saw my name on there 3 times. Don, Donnie, Donovan, Garcia. What?
Jessica Lopez.
Congratulations.
Hey, all right.
No relation.
No relation, but we will be picking that up and eating that backyard later on today. Right? No? Okay, all right. Just
So,
me.
like I said, Chris, we do have a specific set of questions for your Bear County experience. We asked you what brought you into the Strawberry Festival. What motivated you to get into the Strawberry Festival? What motivated you to get into law enforcement, into serving your community, and specifically Bear County?
So even farther back than my law enforcement career, at the age of 16, I began as a volunteer firefighter for Olton Volunteer Fire Department when I was a kid. Began as a junior, just like Gerard did here. You know, he was one of our kids, and I did that until I was old enough to get to go to the police academy, and then I maintained the volunteer fire department and my training and all the certifications, everything that it took to continue and to get professional certifications as a fire investigator, firefighter, you name it. I mean, we just continued to grow. I took it upon myself just to train and specialize in a few areas: technical rescue, high angle ropes. Really, there was just a lot of that I found very, very enticing as far as the knowledge. And I was like a sponge as a kid, and I just soaked it all in, and I really enjoyed it. Well, I began to develop my career path for being a fire marshal. I knew that having both my law enforcement and my fire experience, combining those, that was just going to be a perfect marriage of experience. Because in order for me to go into a fire and to look at it, to know and understand how a fire behaves, to have been a firefighter inside of those buildings or fighting a car fire or whatever it was, to understand that what I see, the patterns that I might see, or, it could be just about anything, pieces of evidence, non-communicating fires in different points of a building. I was able to know that, you know what, guys, this is suspicious because there's no reason for there to be 2 fires in 2 different spots within this residence, or whatever that looked like. And then you got your obvious stuff that you walk in, smell gasoline, and you're like, oh, that's it. But those things weren't easy, and it's just like you said earlier, when we were talking about the fires, fatality fires, ones that can burn completely to the ground. And I used to give some of the homicide investigators that I work with a hard time, because I would always tell them, guys, you come in, you have a body that you can see, you have blood spatter, you've got all this, you got a gun, a knife, whatever it is, you got all this evidence that you can see, you can make a case, man. You can make I said, you take that scene and you burn it all the way to the ground. That's what I do.
Sure.
And, I would tell them, like, you want to impress me? Yeah, I think
Figure this out.
Exactly. But yeah, that's how I really just working fires alongside state fire marshal's office investigators. In one particular, I worked as a firefighter. I went in. I took a lady that had been beaten and burned, And I pulled her out of that structure, and she passed. And they called the state fire marshal's office in. I went in and assisted him with that investigation in the Texas Ranger. And I knew at that point, I've been a police officer for like 4 years when that happened. And I knew that I wanted to be arsonist. I was like, and it's funny because I didn't want to be a ranger. That guy, Charles Killingsworth was his name. He was a state fire marshal, fire investigator. And man, I was in that scene with him and watching him work, and I could just, he would explain things, and I'm seeing it. And that's the thing, like having that experience as a firefighter, and seeing everything that he's explaining, and I'm getting that. I understand what you're talking about. And then at that point, I started working toward my arson investigator. And in a couple of years, I had my state certification.
Fantastic, man.
And that's how I ended up in the career path that I'm in. Was that actually that one fire when we worked at homicide. And I was like, I want to do this for the rest of my career.
Yeah, that's great. That's
And
great.
So what's your typical day like as the fire marshal and EMC? What do you do typically?
So a lot of it depends on it. A lot of it is reactionary. It's driven by like calls. What is it that we've got going on? Like today, for instance, I'm on the way in and I see that the San Antonio guys are chasing the stolen. It's a pickup with a lid, like one of these excavators on the back of a truck, and these guys are chasing it, and we see the eagles overhead, and it's pretty close to our office. So I'm like, well, do you want to get involved? And that's the thing about having the job that I have as the administrator. I'm like, do I want to stop and help these guys? I stop all the time. I help troopers, I help our deputies. Like traffic stops or whatever. If they're there, just so they've got cover while they're doing their work. But on the way in, it's like, man, instantly that I'm backed up in my mind, and even physiologically, my heart begins to race, and I start thinking about what tactically, what do I need to do to help these guys to make sure that if this guy runs out or whatever, and you start running the scenarios through your mind. That's how my day started this morning. But then I get to the office. Yeah, I get to the office, and I know I've got a meeting at the county manager's office after lunch. I know that I've got a couple of meetings in the morning. So go in and really right now we're changing over to a new time system. So I have to take care of that piece. I know that we've got purchases that we have to make before the end of the year. Our fiscal year, they're going to be shutting us off pretty quick. And then totally now the money that has been made by our office for the permit fees and all those things, and working with the closeouts for the legislature. We went this year and assisted a couple of times in adopting new statutes, and then actually going in and testifying against a couple of the proposed statutes, bills that were there. The language was, they were trying to change some of the language, and I stood up against many of my colleagues and said, guys, we don't want this law to change. And basically, 352 of the local government code is where we derive our authority from as county fire marshals. And they were wanting to take a piece of that away from us. And I'm like, guys, and I want to testify before the public safety subcommittee. And I told them in the subcommittee, I said, you're the public safety subcommittee. Why would you want to take any authority away from a law enforcement officer? That doesn't make any sense. And it was the ability for us not to make traffic stops or work anything to do with transportation. And it didn't. And I was like, guys, y'all are thinking, they were trying to legislate an issue that they have with a couple of departments, one up in Dallas, the Metroplex, and then one in East Texas. And I said, those are local problems, and it's my opinion that you guys should take care of that locally, not bring it to the legislature for them to fix your local problem. Right. And I also told them that the Texas Commission on Law Enforcement should be the agency that is handling the law enforcement piece of that to kind of rein those folks in, and again, not take it to the legislature for the change. So, there's pushback, but you know what? I think it's about either it is on the governor's desk or head of the governor's desk, and it did not change it. So the effort that we put forward bear fruit.
Fantastic, man.
And, like I said, when you have to kind of stand up against some of your peers, and I'm talking about folks like Harris County, some of the large agencies where they're like, oh, no, it's fine. No, I was like, no, absolutely not, folks. I'm sorry, but we have to make a stand. And that includes going up there in person and telling these folks, no, you can do many other things, but don't take away the ability.
That's fantastic. You know, I'm glad you actually went out there, and obviously to have Bear County represented in that type of fashion. But from a firefighter standpoint and an investigator standpoint, sometimes these people who are actually writing these laws and passing legislature and passing all these rules and regulations for other entities have never even been close to a fire. So they don't know. And which leads me to my second question. Obviously, you've been in there for a while, so you've actually seen some changes. What are the most fantastic pieces of technology that are available today that weren't available 30 years ago?
That's a good question.
Yeah, no,
I would say that the body worn camera is one of the best pieces of equipment that law enforcement officers have today. Obviously, those that protect us, like, your bullet resistant vests, your helmets, even, the shielding that we have today, those are just amazing advances in technology that we didn't have when I first started in the form that they are today.
okay.
They were
Rudimentary. They were elementary style.
It was like a lot of folks had like the old flak vest that they wore in the Vietnam era. That's what they would try to issue as a bullet resistant vest. And that was not the technology that we have today.
Right.
The Kevlars and even newer materials that are synthetic that have actually wire rolled into them that make those bullet resistant. They're just, but I can tell you that technology, the AI technology, if one of my officers goes and they're wearing their body worn camera and he begins to give commands that are very similar to the commands that you would give somebody that is threatening you, then I'll get pinged on my phone and I can log into that system and I can listen to and watch what my officers do on the scene.
Wow.
Any gunfire, anything like that. Many of them have their weapons. They can draw their weapon. Their camera turns on, and if any other law enforcement officers are close to them with that system, whether they're sheriff's office, SAPD, constables, any other county, it'll turn their cameras on, so you'll get every single angle of anybody that's in that immediate area.
That's fantastic.
That scene.
That's incredible, man. And once again, body worn cameras were unheard of, at the time, and they were very pixelated. So I had actually seen, and I've actually helped law enforcement upload video from body cams, and we were like, what was that? Is that a hand? Is that a gun? And once 6 p.m. hit in daytime saving time, you actually couldn't make things out. So it made very difficult opportunities to prove or disprove a case. But now, high definition and stuff of that nature, it's fantastic. You really shouldn't you shouldn't break the law. Looking at you, Joanne. I'm just saying. Yeah. Wow.
So you talked to us earlier about going fire training, and we happen to have a friend who is a follow of ours and a regular hunter of ours with the outdoor side, Chris Wheeler, and he is actually an EMT in Wilson County, and he said that we're gonna have to take whatever we can out of this comment. He said fire training is invented the EMS in '92. I'm wondering if fire training was too tough, so he's like, let me go be the EMS guy, or if he was in fire training and it injured him.
If you're going to be, if you're going to have the Texas Commission on Fire Protection certification as a firefighter, then having your EMT or your paramedic, those are all requirements that are needed in order to work for a paid department. As a volunteer department, the State Firemen's and Fire Marshal Association certifications are different as far as the ability to help a city or to work for a volunteer fire department like we do here in Poteet. And so we're not required to have the EMT. I let mine go in 2004. I mean, I was an EMT for many, many years, and I just let that go because it wasn't something I needed for my job. You know, it's in an arson investigation, you're not required to, but if I was riding a truck for a city or ESD, which is something else, got to thank all of you that went out there and voted for the ESD.
That was gonna be one of my faults, because I want to elaborate on that. It's like really important.
It is. But you have to have the EMT, at minimum, the EMT in order to work for the department.
So that's actually a perfect caveat. That's my next question. It's about collaboration. So you're up top, Bear County, right, on law enforcement. Often the time that requires collaboration with various agencies that do a lot of the same stuff. How do you personally or foster that collaboration? How do you welcome in that collaboration, and how do you get everybody to work together?
So oftentimes we know that we're going to have crossover because our office is the office that handles the fires and explosions. That's something else that's part of what we do with the fire marshal's office, and also part of 352. Our office is responsible for all in unincorporated Bear County, all fire and arson related crimes and explosive related crimes. So if it's bombings, which we've had in the past, then we need to be able to work with our federal partners, and then also with the Texas Rangers, with the sheriff's office, with all the different law enforcement agencies that we have within our region. We, as the emergency management coordinator, every time that I work with my guys to put in for a grant, let's say as an example, the Urban Area Security Initiative grant, we put in for a large platform that you guys see at Strawberry Festival every year.
Right.
So that's bought with that money that we signed, that we promised that we would utilize all equipment to support local events. And when we say local, it's throughout our ACOG region.
Sure.
But we've also helped our partners in Uvalde, in Southern Springs. Whenever those shootings happened, we deployed our equipment and our personnel to set up and help the Texas Rangers, to help ATF, to help the FBI. There's not any group, Texas DPS, it doesn't matter if they call for our resources, we send them. That's an offer that everybody that knows through our resources lists that we have created through the COG, the Colorado Area Council of Governments. Everybody knows that if you need Bear County, if you need our equipment, if you need our resources, we're going to come, we're going to help you. Many of the municipalities in our area depend on the power and arson investigation group to go out and assist them, because oftentimes you have the state fire marshal's office has maybe 20 investigators for the entire state of Texas. And when our people, let's say Hondo as an example, if Hondo calls and says, hey, we need help with a fire, we've had a fatality, they may tell them, okay, we'll have somebody there tomorrow morning. Well, they need somebody now. So we deploy them immediately. When the shooting was going on, when it was still going on in Uvalde, I got a phone call from Charlie Waller, who was the emergency management coordinator for Uvalde County. Charlie called and said, Chris, I need resources. And I said, Charlie, what do you need? And he said, I need your command platform. And I said, he started naming all generators, Zoom tents, all of that stuff. And I told him, I said, Charlie, we'll get loaded up, we'll be there in about an hour and 15. And we already have everything staged out at our office in our warehouse. So it was just a matter of getting the guys, getting in the trucks and going.
Fantastic, man.
Were you at Uvalde? Did you?
I did do Uvalde, I did.
So that's another question I have for you is, first responders, y'all see a lot. Y'all see a lot. How do you support the mental health and support for you, and there are outlets for y'all people?
Yes, so we do in Bear County, we have an employee assistance program. They do have a Dear Oaks is what it's called. Dear Oaks is a a really good partner for the county. They give up to 6 sessions, counseling sessions, and anytime that we have any of our personnel who have seen maybe children who have passed in the fire, we had that happen over off of Old Pearsall Road many years ago, and I say many, maybe within the last 10, where a mom and her twin babies passed away in a fire. We offer to our employees that counseling. And then we also have a solid relationship with the San Antonio Police Department and Bear County, and they do have access to the psychiatrists and some of these other professionals, counselors who are more than willing to, if I make the call to the chief and say, hey, chief, I need some help, or if I call Sheriff Salazar and say, hey, Sheriff, I've got this going on, one of my guys is kind of having a tough time swallowing this one, and that's kind of hard, jargon back and forth with some, we understand what we're talking about. He's having a tough time handling this. Can we send him over? And like Dr. Burke, she'll take our guys in and she'll give them as many sessions as they need to be able to kind of get that off of their chest and to help really. They're not trying to make sense of it, but it's sharing the experience and then getting that feedback on how to deal with it.
Sure.
And I had a good friend of mine, Benny Clifton, who passed away many years ago. He was a deputy sheriff whenever I was a young patrolman. Benny told me back then, he said, Chris, you need to find somebody, don't take it home to mama, don't tell your kids, but find a peer that you can talk to about the things that you see and do on this job throughout your career. He said, because if you don't, at the end, you're going to pay somebody.
Sure.
And I told Benny, I said, I know what you're talking about, and I don't want to ever have to do that. And Benny was that guy for me for many, many years until he passed away. But I still to this day, I have friends that they've already retired from the Rangers. They went into law enforcement. We recently had a good friend of mine who was a SWAT commander for Lopez PD that passed away from cancer, Kelly Pearl. And Kelly and I would share a lot together. Things that we would see, things that we would do. Kelly Vandergriff, a good friend of mine who's the fire chief in Aberdeen. He was my fire chief for many years when I lived there, and I was the chief of police there, and I very much enjoyed all of it. But guys, it is and it can be very taxing on your emotions. You do and can deal with PTSD. I had it, and I don't take it home to my wife. I don't, the things that you do and see, I don't go home and just pour that out, because she really does not really understand where I'm coming from on a lot of that. So I still have friends. I still have those peers that I talk to. And if I need to talk to Dr. Burke, I'll call her myself. And she'll give me in. And she has done that because I have. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I have talked to her.
Yeah, no, there's difficulty. And there's a lot of people don't understand the amount of PTSD that actually follows you after you leave the scene. Going to the scene, there is nothing on your mind other than getting there and trying to assess and then figuring everything out. It's a drive back home when everything's quiet, there's nobody around, that'll actually start to get you. And then next thing you know, these tell the things, sleepless nights, waking up early, not eating, not doing the things you're supposed to do. Then it affects your life and whatnot. But fortunately, there is a lot of resources to you guys, and thankful to the Sheriff Salazar and Dr. Burke and everybody else that's involved, because once again, it is taxing. And unless you've been in those shoes as a first responder or EMS or somebody that's actually gone to the scene and actually seen these things happen, PTSD will catch up to you. It'll shut you down. So thankful for that. And I know you guys, what are you guys thinking about now, man?
I want to kind of change gears a little bit.
Sorry.
It's definitely something that needs to be talked about. And I'm glad we are talking about it. And I actually have some comments that kind of go along with that. With what we're talking about, but I have a comment that I want to change here so I can put a smile on all of our faces real quick. So let me pull this up for the crowd to see.
Jerk.
So Gerard, and I'm gonna pull up Chris all the way up on this one.
Yeah. No. It's a Chris show now, man. Thank you, Gerard.
Gerard says, I may or may not have a video of Chris getting certified on the taser when we first issued it to our folks.
Oh,
May or may not get released if there's a donation to the Poteet Strawberry Festival.
JK.
Longest 5 seconds.
Wow, man. How much electricity is passing through those little nodes, man?
You meant to ask Gerard, he's the instructor on that.
Wow, so he would, yeah,
Gerard, answer that for us if you're still here.
geez.
He is, that's it in there. Chris Weaver responded, he said he's a paramedic and we carry vests for crews and ballistic helmets. I tell them back out if we're not on entry crew.
Awesome.
Chris Wheeler also said that CISG, we do it fast. CISM is offered to anyone needing follow-up.
That's fantastic, man.
And he additionally says day off sitting on the tailgate. So that's what he's doing right now. So Chris, good to hear from you.
Enjoy your day off.
We can't wait to have you take days off out in the dove field, whether we have doves or not. And yeah, we know you'll have a full cooler, buddy.
Yeah, well, that's fantastic, man.
So Joanna, do you have y'all have anything else for Chris before we go to the first break?
I'll just say something.
Yeah.
Before I ask my question.
Yes.
What was it that you were going to say, if you remember?
I do. One of the tough things that come out of that when we dropped off all the equipment, and it was dark by the time we started heading back home. We could not, because all the fire trucks and EMS and law enforcement, they kind of blocked all the streets right there around the Bravo country. So we had to drive through the neighborhoods, and driving through the neighborhoods, I mean, our windows were down. It was very somber. It was a very somber time. And hearing the families cry, hearing the grandmothers, moms, the dads, uncles, I mean, just the family of brothers and sisters. I mean, you could hear just absolutely. But just it was so loud and it just ripped your heart out. And I'll tell you that just I worked a fire in Harley, Texas a long time ago, and when my kids were little, and did affect me for a very long time. I left that fire and I drove straight to my house and I hugged my kids like I had not ever had them, and I bawled because that lady, she had a 10-year-old in her arms and 2 little ones that were trying to hide from the fire underneath the bunk bed. And that reminded me very much of that same kind of incident. But knowing that all those babies and those teachers had passed away, and then listening to the families cry and just bawl, I mean, that affected me for a while, for a long while. And that's just from a responder standpoint. I mean, people don't really, we in the business, we really don't talk about stuff like that. We just don't. I mean, it's really, I mean, 35 years ago when I started to talk about it in public forum like this. But I would say that it's not that new anymore. I mean, it should be talked about. Our idioms should be made known to people so that folks know that, you know what, guys, yeah, I mean, we may wear a badge and a gun, and we may wear a vest. We're human, you know, and then we hear those things and don't think that just because we don't respond to that or you know, have any kind of a reaction immediately, that later on that still doesn't, we don't think about that, you know, that it doesn't haunt you, because that kind of stuff does. So that's what I was going to say.
I'm glad that all of us have that help, and I'm glad that it's provided, you know, as much as y'all need it, because I think that's something, like you said, y'all have a badge, you have your gun, and to a lot of people, y'all are seen as superheroes, like nothing bothers y'all, and yeah, and y'all are just like us. You feel, you may not show it, but you feel it, and you have the same emotions that we do. So I'm really trying to do it. If you do, you can.
Yeah, no, thank you. But we did, and it's our responsibility. Gerard is starting now with our agency. It is our responsibility. We want to make sure that our people are healthy, not just physically, but mentally. You know, we want to make sure that they have a good, solid balance. And I'll tell you, I do push these guys. You know, Christmas morning, he's got a call to go and handle some kind of a fire fatality or something. With this little one that he's got, I can tell you that my guys and gals, I've told them many times, we get that call early in the morning, I'll go out there and I'll start working that scene so you can stay home and open gifts with your babies. Because I can remember as a patrolman, having a chief of police, having a lieutenant or a captain who told me, oh, you're on duty, you're not going to do that. You can't. I missed Christmas lunches, Thanksgivings, all that stuff, family, because I had people that I worked for just couldn't have that decency about me. And I always said, if I get to be that guy, then I will make it happen.
Yes. Thank you for your job, man. Thank you for your career.
And we got, before we finish the law enforcement segment, there are today. Taser 7 had 50,000 volts upon shooting. Reduces after making contact to ensure that a safe amount goes through the connections.
So basically what he's saying is that if you power on my iPhone in about 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah. Fully charged.
I will tell you the most painful part of getting was the probes going in. Yes, the electrical part of it, it drew me up. Gerard, post the video. I don't care if he does.
Send me the video and I will put it on the show right now.
Yeah, I don't care. But I can tell you that when it hit me, I can remember my back blowing up and the guys catching me. That man, when they went and then when they took him out, Will, our guy Will Phillips, he's supposed to put his hand kind of L shape around the deal, and then you pull it out. You see my shirt that I'm wearing, and my skin come up with that sharp.
Come on, man.
Oh, guys. But I'll tell you, I would do it again. And then the reason that I say that is because as a law enforcement leader, I want my people to know if they issue a piece of equipment, which in this case, it's an immediate weapon, which is, below the fatal, right? That's under continuum. I absolutely would rather have my folks know that if somehow accidentally one of your compadres over here is shooting at a bad guy, gets you, you're going to survive, right? It may hurt, and it hurts. I ain't gonna lie, it hurts, but it's survivable, right? So yeah,
Fantastic, man.
Gerard sees fun times.
Oh yeah. That's
Of course he does. Of course, man.
That being said, we're coming up on the end of this segment, but we want to spin for something.
Oh.
Spin.
We
Some
wanna
more
spin for
seeds,
something.
man.
So
Some more seeds.
we're going to pull up the wheel. That's who has commented on the show. We got Chris, Linda, Estelle, Roger, Esme, Derek, and Gerard. Gerard's on there. So what do we get away with?
The frozen strawberries.
Frozen strawberries.
Freeze-dried.
Where'd you get those from?
These, we had Crazy Sweets is who made them for us. These are the Florida Pearls that we grew, and she freeze-dried.
I had no idea.
We're so good.
They're so good.
Breakfast cereal.
They brought them in here.
If somebody wins, are we removing them from the wheel?
We'll let Chris make that decision.
If somebody wins something, because I'm going to tell you this right now. Last week, we had Minda, one of our favorite people, one of our followers. She won 2 bags. We figured we didn't take her name off the wheel. It's only fair. If you win something, we're taking it off the wheel. But here we go. Let's spin it. Let the girl roll. See, it's fair. Minda. It's Minda.
What kind of world we live in?
Minda, you want another bag of freeze-dried strawberries. I swear, guys, this is not.
I said give away some seeds, man. She don't got seeds. She got strawberries.
I swear to God, this isn't real.
You got 40 pounds of seeds last week. All right. Meanwhile, I'm stuck with
Stole my seeds, y'all.
Yeah, Gore to the Flies. Gore to the Rings. Gore to the Rings.
Before we do go to break, I want to have a little somber moment. This week we lost one of the great ones, one of the ones that looks a lot like me.
Yeah.
Let's say rest in peace to Mr. Robertson.
From Duck Dynasty.
Duck Dynasty, 76 years old, 79 years old.
79, if I'm not mistaken, and, yeah, you have an interesting story that we'll talk about later, but you were mistaken for him. You said some,
I wasn't mistaken for him, but I was mistaken for
okay, yeah, so you're in an airport, real quick, you're in an airport and some Dutch people said you were him? No, come on, I don't remember the story, like four episodes ago.
We will talk about it when we come back from break.
Come back from break, man.
But I do want to go ahead and say, rest in peace, Mr. Robertson. Thank you for all the entertainment. Thank you for the duck calls. Thank you for introducing more people to the outdoors.
And for the famous,
Yeah.
we always get thumbs up.
But with that being said, we are going to go to a break from our sponsor, the Backyard Kitchen. Go and see them.
Hey guys, Pat here with SoTex to talk to you about the Backyard Kitchen. Located at 973 Avenue H in Poteet, Texas. The Backyard Kitchen has all kinds of deals. This week they have the #1 special. It's the Backyard Bundle. It's a family deal. It's 4 burgers, 4 chips, 4 sodas for just $19.99. They've also got the Sweet Heat Clucker. It's a sweet and spicy chicken sandwich. It's got some summer vibes. That combo is only $8.99 this week. And for their 3rd special, they've got the Backyard Citrus Bowl. It's lemon tang with a backyard bang. Only $7.99 this week. So go see them at the Backyard Kitchen or have them deliver if your order is over $20.
Serving up joy, love wrapped in taste. Cheers to the years and more to come. In this little haven, we all feel that.
Are you ready to shine? Make your mark this time. SoTex time is here. In the spotlight, you'll climb. Join the wave of success. Let your brand be heard. In this vibrant show, spread the word, spread the word. Tune in, don't miss, now's your chance. Together we'll rise, let's take a stand. SoTex time, where your dreams
You've been trying, but you're nothing like me. You can make it, but you're not fooling me. You jump in the fire, watching you burn.
From Back to Black AC/DC.
We're back. We're back. I don't know if you heard that song. It's Jump in the Fire. What a song. What a song. I wish these guys could hear it.
No, we
I
can't.
told them to bring headphones, but it's only me. So
I have headphones.
I have headphones too, but they wouldn't connect.
yeah, it's my Samsung.
Yeah, well, that works too.
You know what? I actually saw that in my Bluetooth. I could have connected to your hearing aid. I saw your hearing
Oh,
aid. I'm not a big deal.
Oh,
I could have connected to it.
That would rock, man. Yeah, I have tinnitus anyway, so everything's, no matter what it sounds like, it's.
I want to tell you guys.
You need to tell them about your Robertson story.
All right, I'm going to tell you guys a really quick story about us going to East Monroe, Louisiana. And I've already told the story. I told it like 3 episodes ago, but we have a lot more followers now. We're up to 3 people watching right now.
Wow, man.
3.
Well, more people watch us on the replay than on the net.
It's true.
We get 25.
And there's a reason why, because nobody wants to be like, oh, I know, I never watched that show, but they're like, wow, what did he say? Yeah, that guy's nuts.
They want to go back and check to see exactly what we said. And see if it's slanderous or anything like that.
Sure, man, libel.
So Joanna and I were in East Monroe, Louisiana, because I blew up yet another boat engine on a duck boat. When I say blew up, I'm talking like 4:30 in the morning, light up the whole lake. Just
Arc
blew
light.
it.
Arc light.
Well, with that being said, I was headed to East Monroe to meet a guy from Georgia that was bringing me a boat. Because I needed a boat. I'm a duck guy. So he decided that he would trade me this boat that I bought for around $19,000. It is small.
Yeah, it's not.
Doesn't matter. We're in East Monroe, Louisiana. So we're in East Monroe, Louisiana. I have my new boat finally. And actually, we started the day going to Cracker Barrel.
Great.
What's Cracker Barrel?
You know, those two, Louisiana and Cracker Barrel, continue, please, man, because.
So we're walking through Cracker Barrel. As we're walking, you know how Cracker Barrel is. It's pretty loud.
Yeah, I know how Cracker Barrel is.
It's pretty loud. As we're walking, it's like the movie scenes where the music just turns off.
Yeah.
Everybody stops talking.
You're shuffling.
Everyone's looking straight at me as I'm walking through there. I'm like, what the hell's going on?
And you see this.
Oh, yeah.
We're walking through. Yeah.
Weird. So I get my boat after breakfast. We drive over to Walmart because I needed something for the trailer. I can't remember what it was.
You hit the trifecta, by the way.
What's that?
Louisiana, Walmart, and continue, man.
So we're walking through Walmart and we're walking to the back section, to the outdoor section, because I think I need to print something for my trailer. And there's a lady probably 30 yards from us. I'm talking 90 feet.
And she was a
Wow,
cute old lady. She was adorable.
Little lady, and she goes, "Oh my God, that's one of the Robertsons," and I can hear it from 90 feet away. And her husband that's there says, "I don't care." She goes, "No, that is." And they're going back and forth to Joanna. They just start, Joanna and I start kind of laughing. They come up to us, and the lady gets right next to us. They're passing us. She says, "Hey, Mr. Robertson, how you doing?" I said, "How you doing, man?"
Oh, yeah, you made her day, dude. You made her day.
I told you.
That's right,
I
man.
told you that was one of the Robertson boys.
Yeah.
I ain't no damn Robert. They were fighting the whole way. They're still arguing.
I'm pretty sure they are. He's probably still washing dishes because of it. Well, how was I supposed to know? Why in the hell did he be in Walmart? Yeah, that's what she was saying.
That's what he was mean for doing that to that poor old lady. And he said no, he was helping her out.
Yeah. But you know, he got his revenge because he was like, what the heck's that Robertson guy doing with Eva Longoria? I mean, she's nice and all, but some dynasty.
She gets Joanna games all the time.
Dude, you know, I said that the other day too.
All the time.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
just Joanna.
Just Joanna. No games.
Yeah, not games.
Close, no cigar.
Well, the second segment, we want to talk to Chris about your involvement in the Strawberry Festival. Can you tell us what your job is and what that job entails?
Sure. So last June, we had elections, and I had actually for a few years had run, because it's like run for office, right? I run to become the president of the association. And so, man, last year, the guys were like, all right, we'll give you a shot. So sure enough, got enough votes and took over as president. Molly Solis took over as the vice president.
VP, yeah.
You know, so we've been, Tina, when Elkins was already, or she'd been for a year, was already our secretary. And then Danielle Powell took over as our treasurer at the time. And we got started, and you're talking about the job description. There is no description.
Yeah,
Especially
There's assignments.
there are, yeah, so there's no assignments.
I've actually seen the job description for president, and it just says Chris Lopez, president, and then there's a little dash under it that says everything.
You know, it's one of those things where you really, you can take those calls, but I'll tell you guys, I told that our core group of folks, and when I say that, it's just like any other, like the volunteer fire department. You may have 34 members, but guys, I'm gonna tell you, you got like 6 or 8 that are doing all the work.
Man.
I mean, just that's the way it is.
Organization.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. It's like, you know, I tell them, volunteer fire department, 16, and nothing has changed, no matter whether it's Olton, Abernathy, or Poteet Fire Department. Those are the fire departments I've been members of throughout this last 40 years.
Wow, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot. Yeah,
That
I mean, it's 39.
So as far as like the you're talking you came up for election, right?
Mhm.
Just so people will have an idea, what was the vote count? How many for, how many against?
So it was for mine, I want to believe it was like 1 over, like maybe the 8 to 7 kind of thing. You know what I mean?
8 to 7, yeah.
Yeah, but Molly's was higher, 11 to
Sure.
4. So, but it's good. I mean, like, we really had as a group, with the exception of a few, had decided, you know what, guys, we really have to make some changes.
Sure, man.
You know, we had leadership for the Strawberry Festival Association for many years. I want to say like 17 or 18 years, the same folks. And you know, there were a lot of things that we got a lot of pushback on. One of the things was just, you know, charging for parking, right? That was a huge thing for some people because, you know, we were known for having free parking all these years. But if you would really if you had the opportunity to see how much money we don't have or didn't have in our coffers, then you would see why many of us were like, we really need to come up with some ways to bring in additional income.
Right.
So that was, that was one of the ones that was before I became president. That was back when Carlos was president, Carlos Flores. And we got it passed, so we started charging for parking. And then other things that we wanted to implement, and that was hit with a no, we're not going to do that. No, we're not going to do that. So we're like, okay, if we're going to do this, we're going to have to make those changes.
Right.
And so that core group of people that I talked to you about, were like, look, guys, I know that Chris Lopez can't do this by himself. And I said, this is the way we do things at the fire marshal's office and the office of emergency management. We run everything on consensus base. If we decide, okay, we want to try to do X project, then I want as many of us that have that buy-in and to be just as committed as I am to making sure that we get that project done.
Right.
And so everybody was like, yeah, that's great. Because before it was, this is it, this is the only way we're going to do it, and no, you can't have any input. And I mean, and oftentimes we had people that were kind of put out with not being listened to, or really like their ideas were kind of marginalized or minimized. And so, you know, I just told folks, guys, if you have an assignment, you're going to run with that. You're going to have the latitude to do that work, and we'll help you, and you're going to get that work. I mean, you want to do that. I want you to do that. And that's what we do at the office. I mean, it really is. We know that we put our faith in our people, and it's kind of like President Reagan said many, many years ago, trust but verify, right? You give them, you delegate that work for them to go do, and you let them go do it.
Right.
And I can tell you that works way more often than not, because when people have the buy-in themselves and they have a specific goal in mind, they're going to jump out there and they're going to stay with that, and they're going to own it. Having that ownership in whatever that is. As an example, I'll use Katie Elkins as an example. The ownership of having the VIP section for our stage area, right? She was a boss. I mean, she said, I'm going to do it. I'll run it. And she did. Molly, she said, I'll do entertainment. She took that because Gerard had for many years done the entertainment piece. Well, Molly's like, because I told them, I said, guys, I'm going to tell you, since I'm the president now, I'm not going to be able to do the emergency management, security, EMS, fire piece anymore. So Gerard had been my assistant in that role, as well as doing the entertainment for several years. And so I told Gerard, I'm like, you're up. You're the guy, man. And he was like, I got it. So handed that off and stepped up into that role. And man, these other folks started tearing the tail. Man, she knocked the arts and crafts stuff out of the park this year. And she, again, stepped up. Brent, you take a look at
Brent Carson.
The work that Brent Carson did. I told Brent early on, I'm like, look, partner, what I'm going to need from you, I need for you to be the guy that puts out the fires. I need you to be our infrastructure person. If we have a problem with whatever it is, electrical or any, you have these guys that are going to work for you. And during the festival, if you have any issues, you take care of them. If something rises to the level that I need to get the other officers, we make a financial decision to bring something in, a large piece of equipment, whatever that looks like, we'll do that. But brother, you have got that part of it. And everybody had their roles. And I mean, it ran very, very smoothly. We did have some people that were upset because it had not been the same festival that they had in years past. And when I say that, there's always people that want things to not change. And because we made those changes, we decided why would we spend $10,000 on a particular tent and act for the entire weekend when we could take that money and better use it in another area?
Sure.
One of the things that Molly did, she brought to the board was changing the people that we used to hire our entertainment. The last few years, they were costing us $80,000 to $140,000.
Now what was?
Just the people that were going out and getting the bands and bringing them to us.
Okay, so they're like the procurement officers or the agencies.
The people that we hired, or
Okay.
that were employed by the PSFA to do that work.
Okay,
Molly got that done this year for $30,000.
fantastic.
I mean,
Trim the fat by 50 grand,
That's what you have.
she used $100 grand.
100 grand.
Yeah, and well, if you look at, we had a gentleman, well, two gentlemen were doing, I'm not gonna name his name.
Sure.
We had two gentlemen doing that work, and Molly hired a gentleman to do the work. Ty Snowden, I'll say his name, he's our current employee, he's got another year on the contract. Ty did the work with his crew and his people that those other two guys had been doing for years and years in the past. And when we started going through the financials and seeing how much money we had spent years past on the entertainment, I'm like, why? We could have used that money to get better at.
Sure, elsewhere.
Absolutely, to attract more people. You look at our count, we had 133,000 people through here over the weekend.
Wow.
That's a great weekend for us. And we actually utilized and leveraged the technology that we had. We spent $20,000 on these open gate technology gates that people walk through, the stanchions that you walk through. If you've got a gun on, go back to your vehicle. If you've got any large piece of metal on you, a knife, go back to your vehicle. Our sheriff's office, with just that one investment, which we had used them in years past, but we were able to use them to help know how many people came through our gate, changing the way that we do the wristbands going to the tickets. I know a lot of people didn't really care too much for that, but until we have a system that we can scan and get true count, these wristbands, man, there was a lot of stuff that we was a guess, right? I mean, because we would ask. And that's one of the things that sponsors for events like this.
Sure they do. They want to know that information.
What is it? How many people did you have come to this?
Demographics, how many, at what age, at what time?
And we could never get the true numbers. Well, moving forward now, we can.
Sure.
And it's an amazing thing because we leveraged all the technology that we utilize to be able to do that. And I believe, and I know that a great number of our directors believe the same thing, that as we move forward, that our leverage of technology is going to be better. Now, there are some things that, you just can't completely do away with. You can't go completely cashless.
Right.
You can't go with I guess you could go with no coupons, but in a festival like this where you have a lot of your nonprofits, and we're probably still going to have some of that going on. But I mean, I would like to see us planning for the future go to a cashless system to where either you have a card that you load up or you load up on your phone and you go, let's say you want to go ride rapids, you can scan your phone to jump on the rapid, or you can go over here and you can buy tacos off your phone.
Sure. A universal currency on our grounds.
Absolutely. And so
I know what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
That's tacos made at home.
we used to make some of the best ones all over the place. But those are some of the technological changes that we want to see.
Right.
Christina was in charge of a project getting the rodeo, the 5 feet of rodeo into the beer garden area, which is our old main stage. That people love seeing.
Fair enough, man.
So, those are just some of the small things that we were able to do this year. And, we really, that's just the tip of the iceberg. One of the things that I was extremely proud of was the work that Brent did and utilizing people like the VFW folks man, they stepped up big time, weeks before coming in. The festival paid for all the paint, all the sandpaper, all the little tools, and man, this VFW folks came in, they painted this thing from top to bottom.
Sure did, man.
There's still a lot left to do.
Right.
And we're gonna get that done, but man, they beautified this place. Like, we haven't had coat paint since, well, for sure 7 years, because the last time that we did it, we utilized my airless paint.
And I was out here painting that purple bathroom. Hideous color, by the way, but we did it with a sprayer.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep, we used my air, so that was 7 years ago, and we hadn't really done anything. Any upgrades, anything like that, except for when we had the COVID money, we did put a blacktop down. We voted as a board to get the blacktop redone, and then that was a good solid project that happened. But then other than that, we just didn't really have any solid improvements.
Sure.
And I really have to go back to what we said a couple of times when we walked in as officers and redid this area, this meeting room. I put this board up. That board had been sitting, leaning up against that wall for a couple of years. And I put this board up, and I took the little red marker and I wrote, "Remember the mission. We're here for the kids." And this group now they remain true to that mission. And I realized that being a change agent is a very difficult thing to do. It's a very difficult task to walk in somewhere that is operated in a manner for so many years. It is very hard to change people's minds, to change their attitudes, to change the way that things are done, because not just on this board, but the community was very used to receiving everything for free. Like, I can remember organizations coming in and telling our folks that worked here, I need 250 wristbands for my volunteers.
It's a lot of volunteers.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I've, not to cause issue, but I've volunteered with several organizations in the booths selling things. And it's hard to get volunteers to show up.
Oh, it is.
So I can't imagine needing that many wristbands, considering that it's, like you said, in every organization, there's that core group, and it's typically that core group that you would see working in those booths.
Yeah, and I'll tell you that those wristbands, we would find them for sale online. We find them on Marketplace, we find them on Craigslist, we find them in some of these other like offer up kind of things.
Some of the very own wristbands were issued out, that were issued from here to entities.
That's correct.
Then they were for sale.
They were.
I sent Tina a picture this year. Tickets.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, even this year,
Tickets.
we went to that new system to really kind of stop any of that. And free tickets that we gave organizations, our nonprofit organizations. There were people this year that were trying to sell the tickets. Free tickets. I mean, guys, I'm sorry. Been in law enforcement a long time. You want to talk about low? That's low. I mean, again, we're doing this for the kids. I mean, everything that we're trying to make happen here, we have a foundation now, the Poteet Strawberry Festival Foundation, that we have not been able to fund, and we want to pay all of the PSFA scholarships out of that funding, out of that foundation. We have not had the funding to put into the account for the foundation. And this group, this year, we're changing that. We have our SBA loan that we pay on every month. It was pre-COVID, that was like COVID era.
Sure.
$700 a month, $640 a month. We want to change that. We want to pay that loan off.
Yeah.
Anything that we have that is a drain on the PSFA, we want to cut that and take care of that debt. I remember a time prior to COVID when that board, the board that I was on, and they're not the same people that are on there now, actually brought up taking a piece of our land and borrowing money against it so that we could have a festival.
Wow.
And I'll tell y'all, in that meeting, I threw a fit. I was like, absolutely not, guys. Are you kidding me? We have land that's completely paid. We owe no one on that property. And you guys, y'all want to borrow money against it? No, that's the worst idea in the world. I was like, no, we don't got, we need to figure out something else. And then we ended up in 2020 not having our festival because of COVID.
Well, yes, I'll go ahead and continue with that.
But that was one of those things that in order for us to have had a festival, we would have had to borrow money.
Right. So, on to a lighter note, we did have a festival, but I was the only one who attended. I drove in that day, sad as a.
Nobody told you?
No, I knew. I drove in and I took video, and there's on one of our iMac computers, it's like, well, I'm the only one here at the festival. This and this is happening. So such and such and such and such. And I drove out, man. But yeah, we did have a festival. So technically, I was the only one who attended. I apologize because I did not pay to get in. The gate was open.
No, you could post that video as somebody from the future.
Oh,
Good.
People do that.
Yeah, man.
So
And okay, so we're talking about the money that was actually made for parking. So these monies can actually be used for bigger name bands, better attractions, or maybe to restructure a contract between a vendor that we have, or maybe improve the rodeo, or like that spectacular idea of actually simulcasting the rodeo into our beer garden, which, by the way, is fantastic because people want to sit and drink and enjoy themselves in a nice, relaxed area and still watch some pretty good crashes and buck offs and all kinds of crazy stuff, man. So, yeah, kudos to you guys. What will happen next? What's the itinerary, man? What are we shooting for?
So moving forward, we want to take the money that we made this year, fund the foundation, and make sure that all of our scholarships for our kiddos come out of the foundation like they're supposed to.
Great.
The Taste of Texas folks created their own 501c3, and they took over all of that. Miss Carol, for many, many years, man.
She had her hands full, man.
We love Miss Carol, man. I tell you what, that lady did so much for the festival, for the people of this town, this area, the kiddos. She really, man, she did an amazing job. And the Taste of Texas, she handled all the scholarship money, the checks, all of that stuff for those people. And they were separate from the festival, right? That's not a festival thing, the Taste of Texas. And so those folks came in, they took that over themselves.
Nice.
We were so happy and so proud to see that they created their own 501c3. And as far as moving forward, we had an amazing festival this year. We had a lot of people come through those gates. What we look for is to continue to get bigger.
Right.
We have neighbors that we have been talking to, and they benefit as much as we do. So we're talking about partnering up with them to try to get us additional entertainment. That is not just PSFA. I mean, if you look at everybody around us, they benefit just like we do as a community and all of our nonprofits. They benefit just like we do, so they want in. They want to help. And the connections that they have and the people that they know. I mean, again, it goes back to that consensus thinking, not just being a myopic view of this is what we're going to do it because we've done it this way, for the last however many years. No, we need to be looking at the festival with our eyes wide open and taking in data from everybody that's willing to give it. And I tell the very newest person that we hire in our agency, when they come in and they introduce them to me, I have it's not a speech, but I definitely tell them kind of that same pattern. I tell them, look, you're the newest person. You may feel like, man, I don't have a place here yet. I want to know what your needs are. I want to know what you think about your job, your role here. And if there's something that you know, technology-wise, if there's something that you know that makes us a better agency, I want to hear it because you're out there doing the job. We, as the administration, are here to support you. You guys are our greatest resource. And I'm going to tell you, it is my goal to tap into everybody in this board as a resource because we all know people.
Sure.
We all have connections. It's just a matter of tapping into them. I've had pretty in-depth conversations with people from the Valero Texas Open, from the San Antonio Stock Show Rodeo. I've had conversations with people that do other smaller things, obviously, but we still have those discussions and talk about how can we do things better. Our people attend those trainings. They have them here in San Antonio and abroad. I think they have some in Florida, some maybe in Nevada. But for me, guys, I'm going to tell you, the more that we can get our people trained, the more that we can give each one of these board members the opportunity to go and to learn a particular piece, they could specialize.
Right.
I mean, they absolutely could do wonderful things for this festival. And it is on us. It is on us to take this thing forward and to ensure that for generations to come, that these kiddos have a place that they can and will continue to get their scholarship money, to become growers, to continue the heritage that was created by the folks that began this thing. It's on us to carry it for the next few years. And to me, that's it. We've got to do that.
Well,
it's on. We're doing it.
it's on, man. It's on like Donkey Kong. Let's go to commercial break, and then we're going to continue talking to Chris and about the future of the Poteet Strawberry Festival. So join us.
Hey guys, Pat here with SoTex to talk to you about the Backyard Kitchen. Located at 973 Avenue H in Poteet, Texas. The Backyard Kitchen has all kinds of deals. This week they have the #1 special. It's the Backyard Bundle. It's a family deal. It's 4 burgers, 4 chips, and 4 sodas for just $19.99. They've also got the Sweet Heat Clucker. It's a sweet and spicy chicken sandwich. It's got some summer vibes. That combo is only $8.99 this week. And for their 3rd special, they've got the Backyard Citrus Bowl. It's lemon tang with a backyard bang. Only $7.99 this week. So go see them at the Backyard Kitchen or have them deliver if your order is over $20.
Serving up joy, love wrapped in taste. Cheers to the years and more to come. In this little haven, we all feel that.
Are you ready to shine? Make your mark this time. SoTex time is here. In the spotlight you'll climb. Join the wave of success. Let your brand be heard. In this vibrant show, spread the word, spread the word. Tune in, don't miss, now's your chance. Together we'll rise, let's take a stand. SoTex time, where your dreams collide.
We roam through the shadows where the wild berries bloom, where secrets of the soil will sow your doom. You think it's easy to take what's not yours, but we're the real growers, opening closed doors. Keep your hands out our path.
All right, so we're back, and you've been talking about fostering community relationships with our neighbors and how the festival events benefit the Poteet financially, economically, socially. But what exactly are those benefits? Like, I know we give away tons of scholarships. My kids have all been recipients of them, some of the scholarships, I should say. But as far as the festival itself, how does it benefit the local community, both socially and economically?
So if you just look at the history of the Strawberry Festival, everybody in our region, they know the Strawberry Festival name. many of our other communities around us, they have their own little balls or other, watermelon dumps or whatever. And, but at the end of the day, none of it measure up to the Strawberry Festival. So we benefit as a community from that name, that program. I mean, if you look at it from a business standpoint, the model that was created that we were able to step into is phenomenal when it comes to branding. Many people like Jim Combs that spent years and years going out in the community, going on and doing your lives, talking to people about strawberries, explaining to them about different things, about even about windmills. I mean, but people like that, like you guys, I mean, look at right now what you're doing for the Strawberry Festival Association, your farm, and really the community. I mean, it puts us out there and it keeps us at the forefront of people's minds. And really, that's what we want to do. We want to stay relevant. I mean, guys, I'm sorry. The Strawberry Festival has been around for this last 78 years. Guarantee you, it's going to be here long after Chris Lopez is there. The Warner, right? The Gophers premium I made. It's going to be here. It's going to be around. I'm like you, my son Brandon. He was a Strawberry Festival king back, 2012, 2013 timeframe. I give back because he benefited from this festival. I saw the fruits of those scholarships. I saw the education that he was able to get, and same thing with your kiddos. I mean, I remember that too. And I'll tell you, I know the benefit that it brings, the value that it brings, and when we together can do that for our community, when we can do that for our kiddos, I mean, and I know that at some point, just like I tell my troops all the time, guys, we're all temporary employees. I'm only going to sit in the chair for a specific amount of time. One of you are going to replace me, and that's the way I feel about it here. I know that I'm only going to sit in the chair for a very specific amount of time. And the good Lord knows what that time is. But while I'm here, I'm going to do my best to make this place the best experience that people can have whenever they come here, the best place that our kiddos can come and enjoy. And I want to make it safe. And I know that all of us have that same commitment to the Strawberry Festival Association and making it into a better place than when we stepped into the doors. And that really is our goal. It's to make sure that we definitely find it or get it better than we found it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. And to create the next crop of folks that are going to replace us, to bring them up, to train them, to educate them, and to show them exactly what it takes to get out there and get the work done. There's a tremendous amount of minutia that we get into during the festival weekend. Willie Leal spent his weekend in this office assisting, running the thing. And I'll tell you, that's an important job. We did not have a coordinator this year. So Willie acted as the director. He acted in that role and did a phenomenal job. I mean, that guy came in here and he made sure that internally everything was running. Our volunteers that do a lot of the internal work for us, work in the treasury, work in the booths,
Some of them never see the outside.
They do not. They come here, they start working here, and they don't leave. I mean, they'll go home like 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, but they come back early the next morning. But they don't get to enjoy the festival. And that's something that I will be very honest. I had not had the opportunity to come and enjoy the festival since I moved here. But I will say this. I did ask my wife to marry me on Paris.
Oh,
That's Summer Festival.
Really?
that's actually how Chris and I met. Was I moved here in
She's the wife.
Oh man, he's a lovely lady. No, I moved here in 2009 and I started volunteering in 2010, and we met volunteering on the grounds.
Wow.
And then our sons became friends in high school. They were on board together and we stayed friends. The boys, I think, have lost touch just because they're all over the place.
Yeah.
Kids from kid things. But Chris and I have stayed in touch, and it's, it's nice to have that friendship. Now, you did mention mentoring new growers, and you talked about the hard work of crops. So what is the significance of strawberries to Poteet? How has
We should
the
have a festival of strawberry.
But how has the festival contributed to the town's identity?
So, yeah, so if you take a look at, again, that 60,000, and that's something that we say, obviously, in public safety, is if you're the incident commander over something, you're taking the 60,000 foot view of something. Well, if we do that and we look at everybody that works and grows berries within our area, you take a look at everything that they do, the type of the ground, the sandy, loamy soil that we have, y'all can tell me about all of that. But I can tell you that the history of all of that goes back ages. You're talking generations of strawberry growers, and you look at that across the state of Texas, you do not have anywhere else in the state of Texas what you have here in this area. The ability and the willingness and just really the people that have that in their heart that they want to grow strawberries and they want to support the Poteet Strawberry Festival. And you guys have the opportunity to bring your fruit to market and sell it during the festival. I know you guys have a season that starts before and you finish up after, but man, for those few days, you guys were able to come in here and just sell your products, your jams, your spring dried berries, your wax of berries. You guys were able to come in, and that to me, that is obviously what the festival is about. But it is a deeper, richer, historic value that is brought to this festival that no other festival has. Period. Guys, you look at any of these other, even our little Sand Hill celebration in Oldham, we were ag-based community. But we did it because the running water dry. It's sand hills. It's not the same kind of sand that we have here. But it was just kind of an old Indian, Native American area. And so they decided that back in the early 80s, they decided they wanted to have a celebration. That's what they named it. And there's never been any kind of, like you have here, a theme, solid, come together of all of your farmers, of all your strawberry farmers, of all the people that contribute like you do here. And this is just a beautiful thing to see. I love seeing you growers when you guys come in here with your UTVs and you're setting up and you're bringing in your flat strawberry. I took a picture of Joel this year. He had one of the UTVs just loaded down, man, with plants up front, strawberries on the top and on the back, and his kids are holding stuff, and you want to talk about the spirit of the Strawberry Festival, man. That's it. I love that. I love seeing the little ones walk around here. I'm gonna tell you, Maria and I have 8 grandbabies, and I tell her all the time, if I see little ones in the store or out in public, or we're here at the festival, and I see little ones, and I always look at my wife and say, baby, that's our future. We have to invest in those babies. It's on us, as the folks that are 57 right now. And, I've learned in my life that if we do not teach back, we don't turn back and reach and grab our Gerard Guerreros, our people that our DJs, if we don't reach back to them and pull them up, then we don't deserve to have the positions that we have in leadership. If we're not the kind of people that are willing to step up and teach, like you guys as farmers, man, you teach your children. Mr. Sanchez, his kids, his girls, they're out there working, man. He taught them like his dad and his granddaddy taught him. It's part of who you are. And the TV interview before the festival this year, And I said that very thing because I grew up in a farm and ranch community. And one of the things that I learned as a very, very young child was when you are out there, you're working in those fields, because I did, you're out there, you learn what it's like to see a seed get put into the ground and then God water that seed with the rain and to see it come up. That to me is what life is about. You take that seedling, that just that whatever that is, the little thing that you are responsible for, put it in the ground and you watch it grow. I feel the same thing with our kids. And it's about the little tracks.
That's great, man. That sums it up pretty much.
So we got about 10 minutes, so we got to close this thing. We're about 8 minutes actually. But I just want to bring up some community events real quick while we got you here on camera. And we've told you about this before. I actually called you to ask you permission about this. On June 28th, the Poteet Rotary is doing a cornhole for a cause tournament, a charity cornhole tournament. You guys can see that right there on the screen. We got it pulled up. It's $100 per team, but it is the 50-50 tournament. So if you guys are good at cornhole, or even if you're bad at cornhole, come on out. This cornhole tournament, we will have $25 side pots. So if you're bad at cornhole, put in for the first out and the longest loss, $25 each. And if you get either of those, you're going to win your share of the pot of that. Nice. But the cornhole tournament, we're hoping to get 50 teams out there. Chris, is there anybody from the Festival Association that you know would come out and play some cornhole with us?
Yeah, there's a few of us that'll jump in and be out there playing. We may not be any good at it.
So we're going to have music playing. It's BYOB. We'd love to see you out there. It'll be a fun community event. Bring the court out. Let them play.
Yeah.
Maybe they're interested. We'd love to see you out there at the Rotary. It's all a community event, and everything we do is community involved. And that cornhole tournament, as you guys can see, will benefit the Morris Henry Franklin New Grower Grant, which you were just talking about, bringing in new growers. That's something that we at the Rotary, when I say we, I'm talking about Joanna and I, have really pushed forward, and we're really trying to bring in new growers because we see that deficit is coming. Sure. It's coming fast.
And it's that, nobody wants to talk about loss of life, but eventually people are going to retire, people are going to pass away, and we'd like to know that there's another generation of farmers coming in to keep everything going. Farm festival, let's go.
Sorry for trying.
Sorry.
Almost interrupted. I didn't know you were still talking about it. Second community event we want to tell everybody about is go see the VFW. The VFW is going to be having a dance on July 4th. It's $20 per person or $30 per couple. Go and participate in that and support our local VFW. Estelle Leal said, "You reap what you sow." Yes, that's a fun.
In more ways than
gladly be happy to.
She spent the majority of her life when she wasn't out of town in Kingsville and Corpus Christi and Lake Jackson and all these following her career and whatnot. She was actually with my other sister Rosalinda pulling weeds and picking berries and we had done it for a while. Geez, I don't know what we do with that.
So we got to close this thing up here very quick. We got 7 minutes left, but we're gonna
give some stuff away.
Yeah. So what else you got? What else you got left to give away?
Well, I have this beautiful jar of Pearl Jam.
Let's go to the Pearl Jam. Here we go. Go ahead. Chris, our Wilson County EMT.
You can't write his name on you.
Chris, you won the Pearl Jam.
And it's
All right, what you got next?
a hat. A beautiful
SoTex outdoors hat. I've never seen this pattern, and I ordered these things.
It was cool. It was mixed in with some other ones, so maybe it was
It was a preview.
All right, where's the wheel? We don't have 5 minutes on the wheel here.
I have the big
The big prize, and we're down to only 4 people on the wheel.
beautiful
David, Estelle, Roger, and Esme.
gift certificate to the
For how much again?
$20.
$20.
$20.
Oh, that's pretty. Anything else we
No, I think that's it. Tea or anything
All right, scatter shoot. We're gonna do a real quick scatter shoot. Everybody come up with a question to ask Chris.
Sure.
You can only answer with 3 words or less, okay?
Oh, man. Oh. Favorite moment of the festival? Favorite moment ever?
Ask my wife to marry.
1 3 words.
See?
So yeah.
Favorite food on the festival grounds? Oh, dude.
Can we do the next one with only 1 word? Because you went 3 2.
Let's hear it. Come on.
What artist do you want to see in the future?
It's 2 words with his name.
Wait, just give us the first name and we'll have to guess. Tony?
No.
Okay.
Oh.
Cool. Who do you want to see?
No, go ahead.
She wants to see Jared. I know that. But I would like to see what's the guys who do the Norteño remixes and everything?
Oh,
Easy Band.
Yeah.
Easy Band. They're so good.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I tag the Strawberry Festival in every video I see from them. So you just gotta see what you tag in and you'll know exactly what we're talking about. But guys, we want to thank Chris for having us out here. We want to thank the Poteet Strawberry Festival for existing and for being the reason that we do.
And I'm sure we're strawberries, but it's a lot of the reasons we do the things that we do. And thank you for supporting the community.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for your service
Sure
when
enough.
it comes to your law enforcement stuff. Guys, thank you for watching. Joanna, you got anything for the people?
No, have a good weekend. Absolutely.
Donovan, you got anything for the people?
Gotta do our sign off, man.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's do it. Go ahead.
I forgot how it goes.
I know my part.
Yeah. May your berries always be juicy.
May your jam never be runny.
Fragaria!
In the fields of Poteet where the sun shines hot. Red strawberries popping, yeah, we gave it all we got. Bass drops heavy like the fruits ripe dump.
This episode of SoTex Time was powered by the Backyard Kitchen, 973rd Avenue H in Poteet. Blackbird 9 Winery, SoTex Farms, truly homegrown, and SoTex Outdoors, the hunt never ends. Goodbye.
We're crunk in the fields, in the bass drop. Berries in the wild will never stop. From Poteet to the world, let the music run. Strawberry vibes in the heat of the sun. Harvest time's a party, every berry's a score. Dancing through the woods, can't help but want more. From the vine to the beat, make the moment last. Poteet's where it's poppin', man, forget all the past. Bass in the soil, rhythm in the heart. Strawberry dreams, this is just the start. We're cold and fields, feel the bass drop. Berries in the wild, will never stop. From Poteet to the world, let the music run. Strawberry vibes in the heat of the sun. Raise your glass for the fruits of the land. Bass drops berries, it's a clunk life plant. In the fields of Poteet where the sun shines hot. Red strawberries poppin', yeah, we give it all we got. Bass drops heavy like the food tribe thought. Crunk sides flowing, gotta feel that jump. Sweetness dripping, turn the speakers up high. Berries growing loud, let your spirit fly. Sweetness dripping, turn the speakers up high. Berries growing loud, let your spirit fly.